first, let's hear from the former Chelsea midfielder John Obi Mikel. He joined White and Jordan earlier this week and spoke about why Rafa Benitez wasn't accepted by the Chelsea dressing room.
Probably from his time at Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool was a big rivalry for us. But coming into the club as well, I think the fans also didn't like Rafa. You know, I think there was something about Rafa and the fans that the fans didn't take to him. And same as well with the players. We didn't really accept him as one of us.
And then he had the thing with JT.
Yeah, and then he had the thing with JT, you know, where JT got dropped. JT wasn't playing as much as he wanted, because obviously JT was always playing. And Rafa comes, he was like, okay, you're not going to play every game. But obviously JT wanted an explanation. Why am I not playing? And Rafa didn't give him that.
So did you players get together and think, well, we need to help JT out here?
Yeah, JT got together by himself and decided, you know, your time is gone.
So you make no bones about it, John. The players had the power.
You know, we had the power. I think JT, Frank, Didier was very opinionated. Didier had a lot of voice in the dressing room. Peter Cech. These were the guys who ran the dressing room. And when they feel like, okay, this manager is not giving the players what we want, and we're not playing as much as we want, we're not enjoying ourselves the way we want to enjoy ourselves.
He's gone.
You know, we'll come together. We'll, you know, try to, you know, figure out a way whereby, you know, we'll get someone in that we want.
And was Abramovich aware that you guys were virtually running it?
Yeah, he knew that. But at the end of the day, he wanted us to be happy as well, because at the end of the day, the players are the most important people in the club.
Very interesting to hear what John Obi Mikel had to say. The players are the most important people in the football club. That's clearly always going to be a player's perspective, isn't it? Not necessarily the way that most of us see it, but there you go. But talking about player power, Chelsea seems, at least in his description, quite a dysfunctional place. The owner of the football club knew that we were basically doing what we wanted to, and that we weren't having the manager, and basically we orchestrated the exit of our manager. Essentially, I think he implies by speaking to Roman Abramovich and telling him we wanted him to make a change, because he said we would get the person in who we wanted. So clearly there were conversations going on behind the manager's back, and in the end, that Chelsea squad got what they wanted, I'm sure, time and time again. And listen, we know what things were like under Roman Abramovich. They were a very successful side. Lots of those players have the silverware to prove it, of course. So it worked in many regards, but very, very strange. Very, very strange. In a way, he's confirmed what we always knew about that group of players at Chelsea, where they did actually believe, and maybe they were right in the end, that they were above the managers who came into that football club.
Well, when you've got a group of players who are successful, then they're going to have a lot of power, and the owners are going to listen to those players. And Chelsea in that era were a very successful team. But it's funny he's talking about Rafa Benitez, is because I would have said the same thing, is that he was probably the worst manager that I played under.
So really, why is that?
Just like he said, didn't give no explanation why you're not playing, didn't give you an explanation when you're playing well, didn't say when you're playing bad, didn't say what you need to work on. There was nothing. It was just you wasn't in the squad, or you wasn't starting, and you'd wonder why. You'd come off and have a fantastic performance, probably get man of the match. I can't remember, I got man of the match in one game, and he came and told me about my faults. And I was just sitting there scratching my head thinking, Gaffer, I've just got MOM, mate. What are you talking about? Rather than going, well done, great result, well played well. He was thinking about, you could have done this, you could have done that. But I was like, this guy's not well.
But isn't he trying to improve you?
No, because he would never tell you when you're doing well. As a manager, once you praise your players, it would never say, well done, come off and shake and clap you and put an arm around and say, yeah, you was amazing today. Would never do that. So you'd left like in a bit of a limbo. And like I said, when you wasn't in the squad, you couldn't knock on his door because he wouldn't give you a reason or an answer. So I can understand why JT fell out of Rafa. And again, Steven Gerrard would say it, Jamie Carragher would say it about Rafa's management. It wasn't great. Obviously, he was successful at Liverpool.
But yeah, and I'm interested in how it worked for him if he had that disconnect with so many players.
You've got people like Steven Gerrard who runs the changing room, who takes a lot of it. He would kind of give the team talk, not Rafa. Rafa will give out the team sheet, formation, and then it will be Steven Gerrard who will be telling you what needs to be done. He will be giving you the go, the humph, the fighting talk before the game.
Motivation,
not Rafa. So yeah, I can understand why the Chelsea squad, being so successful, and the players that they had at that time, didn't see eye to eye with Rafa Benitez.
Is that professional? You know what John Obi Mikel described, the circumstances at Chelsea there. Well, we weren't having the manager. And you think, is it on a group of players to just say they're not having the manager? And then he starts to explain
now. It's different.
Maybe.
You know, you look at the past captains back in the day who would, you know, take things by the scruff of the neck. You know, Roy Keane, Man United, Vieira at Arsenal, John Terry when it was at Chelsea, obviously, Rio. All these top. If they tell you something, you listen. If Martin Odegaard was shouting at me, I'd look at him and say, it wouldn't have the same. It wouldn't have the same effect.
Player power. I find it surprising. I just think professional footballers, your job is very, very different. You just have to work with the manager that you're given. Listen, a lot of football clubs now, by the way, the managers are just given a squad of players. They have to work with those individuals. And managers have different ways of going about things quite clearly. You know that. You've worked with different managers. If a manager is cold, like you're describing Rafa Benitez to me, maybe that is just their way. Is it on the players to say we're not having them? He's not one of us?
Well, that is, again, that's the Chelsea thing. That's a totally separate...
So it's never happened in your career?
I wouldn't say that he's not one of us. We say, look, we don't see eye to eye, we don't like the manager, or we don't...
As a group of players, you don't like the manager? I get it as an individual.
Well, you won't say you don't like him as a... You don't agree with his tactics. You wouldn't agree with his style of play. You wouldn't agree with his training. You talk about that. You know, so it goes hand in hand, because the managers sometimes don't like a certain individual or some players, and they don't play him because for whatever reason. So it goes both ways. Just because he's a manager doesn't mean he has absolutely superior on everything that goes. The players can not like the manager as much as the manager cannot like the players.
No, I know that, but there's a difference between just not getting along, not seeing eye to eye, wanting the tactics to be different, but still working together.
Yeah, listen.
Because, there's a big difference between that and saying, look, manager, you know, listen, Gaffer, we want to play a different way, or we think this player might be better in the team, and look, it's ultimately your decision, but we're going to give you, you know, our opinion on it. There's a difference between that and saying we don't like the Gaffer, so we're going to go to the owner of the football club and say make a change. That's ridiculous.
Well, again, that's the Chelsea era. I've never been in a team where they've gone to the, you know, to the board and chairman says I want this manager out. You know, I know big captains and big leaders have gone to the manager, say I want this maybe player in. I want to maybe let's play this player, start this player instead. We feel that it'll be better for the team.
Yeah.
But never, you know, said, look, get this manager out.
I find that crazy.
But I guess the managers the captains nowadays are totally different breed now from what they used to be. You know, like I said, Bruno Fernandes. Again, if he was another one giving barking orders at me, I would turn around and tell him, shut up, stop moaning. And I wouldn't dare do that against the Vieira or Stevie G. I would listen, I'd be like, yes, sir, I'm on it. You know, so the captains nowadays to the captains that we used to have back in the day are totally different.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.